If you had a job where you come to work and people clap for you, it would change your entire mood.
Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump?
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the pace.
Howling holler from the heart.
This is pathetic.
Where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap?
Life could be worse.
This is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss, my wine. Baby, my heart's on fire.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down.
I'm a bag of pixie dust. Contraband.
They're going to do the Mary Poppins thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah.
Magic mirror on the wall. The fairest one of all.
Oh, bitch, you killed Kenny.
Kenny.
You fat hoe.
I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
If you haven't subscribed to Lorena yet and you're watching this, you suck.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, of course, bringing you that spice when it comes to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And of course, this is the Spice Lounge, where we have fun breaking down the, I would say, the hottest topics in pop culture, and we kind of do, but a certain company seems to take up a lot of stories, and of course, we're talking about Disney, right? So we are definitely going to be talking about Disney, especially with Daredevil Born Again, which is going to be premiering tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on Disney Plus. We'll talk about it. And is it really going to save the MCU? Is it Born Again to fail? We're gonna talk about that. Also talk about that hot garbage known as the Oscars, which was hosted by Disney, and some interesting things that happened on the Oscars. And of course, we're so happy to have you all here. Happy Mardi Gras indeed. It is indeed Mardi Gras today. Happy to celebrate with all of you, and so glad you guys are here. 71 of you guys coming in here so far. Gonna bring in my first guest. You know her, Erica from Hagen with Erica and Ralph. How are you doing, my darling?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's Mardi Gras. Got everybody decked out in the Mardi Gras hats and everything. Got my gator plushie back there.
I know, I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, and the little purple hats on your on your little figurines.
He's so cute. I bought him last year. I was like, oh, I have to have him. He's so cool. And this year there's a popcorn bucket like King Gator, and it lights up like his beads around his neck. Lights up. It's the coolest. It's the coolest thing. Popcorn goes in his back. It's awesome. No, I don't have it because Camera Girl got it. So I don't I don't have it anymore. So she took it to the We went to go see the parade for Lundi Gras, which is Monday. Lundi, which is Monday in French. And she took it. So she would catch beads, put some beads on her, and then stuff the rest of the beads inside the popcorn bucket.
That's a smart move.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's really smart. So yeah, love Mardi Gras. But even more, love it when we can have a special guest, and he's a friend to the channel. I'm so glad to have him on, and that would be Mark D with a C. How are you, my
Hello.
friend?
Very good on the Fat Tuesday, right? I'm doing my job, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to store up, before Lent. Yep. But it is a great celebration. I've never been down to New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I always wish, that I got to do that. I've been down there a bunch of times, but that's got to be a bucket list item to do. But safety tip: if the bartender asks you down there if you want to walk home or crawl home, don't answer crawl home, because it might not end well.
No. Especially if it involves a certain drink called a hurricane.
It was, and I don't know what was in that hurricane, but I barely survived, and I got my wife home barely. But...
Everything. When rum goes by name, like say Sailor Jerry's, and there's more than 3 different kind of rums, you crawl home.
Yeah.
Especially the big, huge.
It was a big, huge. It was like a 4 for 1. It was early in the evening. It was like a 4 for 1. So safety tip: don't cross the streams, and don't do that.
Don't cross the streams. Don't say you'll crawl home if you're in a bar on Bourbon Street, and do not wear your good shoes in the French Quarter. 400-year-old plumbing. You don't want to do it. Oh, yeah, no, you don't wear your good shoes in the French Quarter, because, well, lots of bars, lots
could
of
happen.
drinking, lots of bodily fluids, probably from both ends, depending on where you step. It's like New York, but south.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
on the subway could be bad. Yeah.
The humidity makes it worse. But definitely not making things worse is all of you people in here. And Mark Daly, thank you so much for this $5 super chat. I may have to clip this because I might get claimed, but thank you. Says KK swears she'll make movies till she dies. My only question is, when does she start?
Gotta watch her grammar there.
Yeah. Like I've told people, you do not get to be Kathleen Kennedy's age in Hollywood and not where some of the bodies are buried. Okay, I'm just saying, she's not going anywhere. Nowhere. She is not leaving Lucasfilm at all. Much as I would like to see them kick her out and have her carrying her stuff out in a cardboard box.
Mary Poppins isn't going to float her out.
Nope. It's just one of those things. She is a Hollywood creature of decades. She ain't going nowhere whatsoever, unfortunately. So thank you, Mark, so much for that $5 super chat. I appreciate it. You guys support the channel, helps me do so many things here. And I see folks coming in. I see all of you. If we seem a little rushed tonight, that's because Daredevil Born Again premieres tonight. So we kind of want to finish up so folks can go and check that out. I know there's some of us who really want to see it.
And at least Disney did something right. They didn't make us wait till midnight tonight. You know how they do that. Usually they have it's like, what? Just have it on at 9 o'clock. Then it's like the movies now. You used to go to the midnight show at Friday, and now they got smart. Let's just have the movies come out on Thursday night, right?
Yep. That and the TV shows are like, look, nobody's staying up till like 3 in the morning for you to drop it Pacific time. Nah, just put it on in there. But speaking of Mardi Gras, and there's a method to my madness. Thank you, 102 of you guys between YouTube and X. Make sure you heart the stream on X. Make sure you thumbs this up on YouTube. Want to show y'all something first. This is one of the parades at Mardi Gras. My favorite parade because it starts at dusk through the night, and it is called Endymion. And the reason why, two reasons why I love this parade. One, it's at night, so it's a whole different kind of atmosphere. And two, the year I went to go to Mardi Gras, I met Lawrence Fishburne
Oh,
on a
wow.
float because a friend of his he grew up with was there, like with us. So that was so cool. We got to meet him. But this is what a Mardi Gras parade looks like. You've got the band, you've got the military, you've got, let's see, where's the cars? Yep, so you've got the motorcycles that come out. There's a PD to kind of, clear the way. They also do this at Universal as well. So that's, OPD that's there. But there they go to clear the parade route. You see the people there. You see all the costumes they've got going on.
Oh wow.
That's from today. They had some weather issues, so they had to
Yeah, I
start.
heard it was bad weather. Yeah.
Yeah, so they had to start late, but this is what Mardi Gras looks like. All of the costumes, people on the side, some of them are usually grilling on the side of the parade route. That is not uncommon to see happen. All kinds of on horseback. Just awesome. I'm trying to get to the floats. So here's an example of
Those
one
floats
of
are
the
incredible.
floats. They are flipping amazing. They're absolutely amazing. They're different crews. So Mardi Gras isn't just one day. It's like over a week where there's various parades that happen, different crews, like crew of Bacchus, crew of Endymion, crew of Rex, the Zulu crew. You see like the Mardi Gras Indians, the stilt walkers that they have going on. This is the type of stuff that happens at Mardi Gras. It's colorful, it's vibrant, it's, the nation's biggest party that they have going on. So here it is like at night. So here we have it, at night. It's great because it's like when the sun goes down and the floats are like lit up and look like this. And they have these same ones at Universal, like the same place that makes the floats for Mardi Gras also makes them for the Mardi Gras parade at Universal. And that's what it looks like at night.
That's awesome. Yep. With the LED and all the lights. Yeah.
And it's always lit up because of the night parade. And yes, you see the people, they have to try to get people away from the floats, but yeah, they're swarming the floats so they can get plenty of beads. Like these are the ones that people step on at Mardi Gras. These aren't really a big deal. You want the big beads, the specialty beads, the ones with the medallions and stuff. There's
different level of beads.
Yes, there's different level of beads that they'll throw out, and people will step on little kids to get.
Is that why certain people will do a certain something to get the better beads? They've been known to happen.
Yeah, it's not legal. The cops will arrest you, but
they'll arrest you.
Yeah. They will arrest you, but people do it anyway. I mean, some friends of mine, we got around it when I was in college. We got like a ladder and they wrote a sign that said throw beads and they pointed it at me. And literally we got showered. We got showered with beads and they were like, this is the best idea ever to have, because we just literally showered in beads, because apparently they like a target to throw to throw stuff at. Hey Ron, how you doing?
I'm all right.
Doing okay?
Yeah, it's been a busy day. It's been a busy
day. I'll bet you had your show this morning and then over on the pro show, and thankfully here we are taking a look at one of my favorite Mardi Gras parades that I've been to, and this is Endymion, which is specifically done at night.
Where is this at?
This is in New Orleans. This is actually today.
Okay. This is in
And
Dimion.
actually not today. I think it was Saturday, because they usually do it on Saturday at night. And just like all the pictures and the floats and just all the color.
I was thinking of the channel. And Endymion is a channel. So
yes, that's a channel, but it's also a Greek god. So a whole bunch of the parades are named after Greek gods, like crew of Bacchus. So they have that one, and literally they have a guy dressed up who looks like
that must be a
Bacchus.
big party.
That's a huge
The
party.
wine must flow, right? Yeah.
It does. And they actually have a float at the parade in Universal, because you'll see it. It's got grapes all over it, and this guy comes out as Bacchus, and it's such a crazy, fun party. You probably don't want to bring your kids. Go to the ones in the suburbs, but this is what Mardi Gras is. It's crazy. It's the nation's biggest party. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on. There's revelry and all that. And you look at that. Look at this from Disney. From Disney Parks. Happy Mardi Gras from Tiana and Lewis.
Does that Lewis have his neck ripped open?
Reasoning.
Does that look like Mardi Gras to y'all?
What is she wearing?
Where are the beads?
No beads. She's in an expedition outfit. She should have on. You guys saw the outfits they were wearing for Mardi Gras. Some that had fabric and some that had very, very little fabric.
How does she do this in the
We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Come on now. I mean, Lewis he's naked, so he's good, right?
Yeah.
He should have some beads or something on too, right? I mean,
yes, he should have beads.
Beads might rip his neck open, because he's prone to have his neck ripped open if you've ridden the ride.
Even further? More so than
ouch.
More so than usual. Yeah, I don't, again, and not that it, look, it's just like, if you're going to celebrate, quote unquote, celebrate Mardi Gras, it needs to look like Mardi Gras, not
just the music.
Yeah. It's, again, the ride is low effort, but I'm seeing this and I'm just like, yes, as a Creole, I am personally offended again by what they're doing.
Just as a question, Lorena, in the real Mardi Gras, are there like large piles of broccoli in the background in the real Mardi Gras, like the pile of broccoli that's behind them?
No, I mean there's okra, but
that doesn't look like okra to me. I don't see any okra.
No, I don't. Broccoli isn't even a thing in. It just goes to show you again just how low effort Disney is. And when it came to Tiana, this is basically diversity in name only. They did it to pay off Black Lives Matter. Yes, they did. That's exactly why they did it. Which doesn't surprise me about this little bit of news here coming from the Hollywood Reporter. Tiana Disney Plus series shelved as Walt Disney Animation abandons long-form streaming content.
Wow. So they're just going to stick to movies, or what does that mean?
Well, means... Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ron. She talked about this on the Pro Show, you and Erica.
No, Tiana's out. Like, it just means that they've been working on this thing since 2019. Wow. They were in production. There was art drawn. There was all kinds of stuff drawn for it. And it was apparently none of it was utilizable. And they're no longer going forward at this point with this project, which is incredibly sad. Like I said, and I hope I don't offend Lorena in this, but like, I feel like they put the Little Mermaid, right, instead of this. They fast tracked the Black Little Mermaid, and they sidelined the actual Black princess that they had from the cartoons. And I'm not, it's hard for me to speak to this because I'm a white guy, but I feel like this is kind of a racist type of a move to sideline the actual original Disney Black princess. It's weird to me. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that, like, as a white guy, you go, oh, "Am I stepping on bad territory here?" but that's what it feels like to me. And I'm like going, but no, I happen to really like Princess Tiana. I'm a huge fan, and everything that they've done to her, what they did to her in the ride, what they did to her in the parks, and now this sidelining. I really liked Princess and the Frog. I really like the whole New Orleans vibe to it, and I like the voodoo and all that stuff. And it just feels like they're sidelining her completely, and it kind of upsets me. I have, again, this is from my perspective as maybe somebody from the outside in a sense, because I'm not, from that culture or anything, but just because I'm not from a culture doesn't mean I can't love the culture. Like, obviously my wife is from Venezuela and I love her culture. I'm not Venezuelan. I never will be. I'm not Latino. I never will be, but I love her culture. That's like, that stuff I don't know. It's just weird. Maybe it's because I'm a white guy that I like everything else. Or I grew up in St. Louis and I was like the only white guy in an all black performing troupe when I was 16. So I grew up in it. Like, all my friends were black and stuff growing up. All the music I listened to, all the shows that I watched. I mean, I watched Good Times and What's Happening and all that. All the music I listened to was rap and hip hop and all that stuff. And so it's I don't know. I just think this whole move is very, very strange. I just feel like Disney does a lot more virtue signaling than they do actual caring about a culture, if that makes any sense.
Well, I'll tell you what, Erica and Mark, what are your feelings? I'm gonna let you guys go before I say something.
Okay. Well, Erica, you want to chime in first? Or yeah.
So what I said on Pro Show, what it seemed like to me is with Tiana's Bayou being such a storyline disaster, I'm just spitballing here that maybe since there were different teams or directors that were kind of coming and going on the cartoon series, I'm wondering if there was a clash of storylining and they just couldn't get the cohesiveness of a storyline to where it would sell. I mean, wasn't the series also supposed to promote and enhance the attraction and vice versa? Like, one was supposed to play off the other. And if the attraction has been a storyline disaster, then that tells me that the series most likely was too. And I chalk it up to my understanding is that there were animators that were either animation teams or directors that were coming and going. And I'm just wondering if it was just like a storyline disaster. On top of, maybe there was, some woke DEI or whatever stuff going on in the storyline that Disney realizes now, post-election, okay, we can't, now we really can't push what's in that cartoon series. I mean, and I don't know. I have no clue what the series is even supposed to be about. I'm just basing it off of what we've seen off Tiana's Bayou. The attraction and what little bit I've heard just today on the cartoon series. So that's kind of my take. Unless y'all know more than I do.
I just want to add this from what Kiss My Grit says. Hello, my dear, says the Tiana series was supposed to add additional story context to Tiana's Bayou adventure, i.e. it was going to focus on Tiana's foods. I know for me, when I heard about it, it's like, okay, so they're going to use the series to fix the absolute dog crap of a lack of a storyline that is in the attraction. What are your thoughts, Mark?
Well, it's interesting. Of course, we're going to talk about Daredevil later, and famously, they had to scrap most of what was filmed think about 6 episodes that Disney filmed for Daredevil. So it might sound like some of the same stuff where they've just got a series that's not working right. And you know what? That's what happens too. A lot of times when you put, you try to use AI or take a poll or try to figure out, what do you think people would like, instead of trusting someone that's creative and giving them, a chance to do something with a character, or they're worried about image, diversity over storytelling. And you end up with a mess of too many different people. I mean, look at Star Trek Discovery with like 19 producers on that. What a disaster that turned out to be. So sometimes you got to take a risk on a great director, great writer, and let them roll with their content and their ideas for a character. And they probably just had, I'm guessing, just had so many people working on this and just totally screwed up the story, and it was so horrible. And maybe there was some political stuff in there they want to take out now. And because animation is very expensive too, so I don't know how much they got done on the animation side, but costs millions of dollars that just gets thrown away. So it's a shame. And I guess I haven't been down to Disney in a while, but I love Splash Mountain. Grew up going to Disney all the time, and just my dad was a big Walt Disney fan because he was an engineer. Just the engineering, the Imagineering, like he'd always point out how everything worked and all the rides, and how Abraham Lincoln, and just what a groundbreaking person Disney was. I don't think people realize that enough, and it's a shame to see what they're doing. Taking out, I guess they're taking out the Rivers of America, which is a disaster. And so you wonder who's running the show, and how bad is this Tiana? I mean, it's that bad. I mean, I've seen you guys talking about it, but when you go on, is it that disappointing compared to Splash Mountain that you're?
Yes.
Oh yes. Tiana, Lorena and I have written it together.
Yes.
And wow,
it's that bad.
It's when you compare it to Splash. Go ahead, Lorena. You go.
No, I was gonna say, because both of us, we wrote it together during the cast member previews. The cast member was generous enough to take us along, and from like beginning to end, it was just like, I can't believe this is a Disney attraction. The water wasn't running on the drop. The water levels on the attraction itself were so low that the ride was bumpy as I don't know what. And Splash Mountain had never been that way. You had some animatronics that were working or not really working, at all. I think we saw Juju once, and Juju has not been back since. So who knows what the heck happened to that? But there's no story. And that like mythos is missing, like what you had with Splash Mountain, where we're following Burr Rabbit along. And even before you even got on the attraction, Burr Frog saying that, one of these days Burr Rabbit's going to get in trouble. And we're like, yeah, what trouble? We want to, we want to check it out. And you felt like you were in that world. So by the time, you were worried about Burr Rabbit, turns out he got thrown in the briar patch, because that's where he was born at. And, we went over the edge and, big celebration at the end. But none of that is with that attraction. And that's why I said, when they had announced this series, I said, this is probably to fix the crap story that they have going on in that attraction. And I did say earlier that the reason why they did this overhaul of Splash Mountain when they did, yes, it was to placate Black Lives Matter. That's exactly what it was. And Ron is not far off, because when I look at this and I look at what they did, because when Princess and the Frog came out, it was a beautiful film. Oh my gosh, I loved it. It was hand drawn. I think the last 2D hand drawn one that was done, the animation was done in India, and it was beautiful. You saw little girls at Disney World. Tiana was the dress, because it's like every time there's a princess movie, there's a dress, right? Tiana, her dress is gorgeous. It's like, it's green. It's got like this, it looks like a big lily pad, in like a good way, and with like the pearls and the lights and everything. Little girls were buying Tiana merchandise like crazy off the shelves. She was up there with the other princesses. And it looks like when they did this, they, stomped on the character, used the character as a front for virtue signaling, and even worse, tried to use this to basically say to Black people they did something.
So it's bothersome.
And that's the problem I have with that.
Yeah, and as a cast member who has shared elevators and backstage areas, break rooms, and stuff with the Princess Tianas. By the way, every single actress that I ever met or friend of Tiana's that I ever met, super sweet, lovely ladies, wonderful people, and just gorgeous. I'm telling you, when they are in that dress in the park and you're like there, even in the presence, when I was a fellow cast member and I was in the presence of Tiana, it felt like I was in the presence of royalty. And I'm not even kidding you. It was.
Is that why some of the dads wanted to keep going back to certain attractions? Just yes. We got a Little Mermaid one, and some of the dads are like, I think I'm getting back online to see the Little Mermaid show again.
But so I mean, it's like she's hey, Tiana's a gorgeous princess. There's no getting around that. I just, it's sad to see the attraction. For the one thing, you cannot tell what the story is. Remember, you're in the queue, and what do you see? You see vegetables. You see what do you call them? The basic three. What are they called? The
Trinity. So you see Trinity, onions, bell peppers, and celery.
So it makes you think you're gonna go into something like you go into a kitchen, you see beignets being made, you got all of this, and then all of a sudden you're in right before you get on the ride, you're in a slave run mine. That's a little awkward. You're like, okay, why am I in this ride? That was anyway, but you get on the ride and you can't tell what the story is. Again, you have Tiana's foods. And you have Okra that dances, and then Lewis is looking for something, and apparently they are in New Orleans but can't find enough musicians to play at their party in New Orleans. What kind of story? So then all of a sudden you have to get shrunk down to the size of a frog by Mama Odie or something, because now you have to find fly size musicians. It's which is weird, because as soon as you do that, you're like, the only thing I can think of is, oh look, I'm at Rainforest Cafe. I got the big red-eyed frog around me, and so it's so weird.
And even worse, the musicians that they find, they're playing Haitian music and Cuban style music. What the flip does that have to do with New Orleans? I mean, granted, yes, it was founded as a French colony. Then the Spanish took it over, but actually the French weren't burned to the ground. So Spanish put in different codes. So all of that, new codes. So all of that architecture that you see in New Orleans, that's not French. That's actually Spanish. But it's just like, why the heck do we need Haitian music in here? Why the heck do we need Afro-Cuban music in I don't like the term African-American, Black American, basically Creole attraction? Where the heck does that come in? You know why it comes in? Because they think we're all alike. So that's pretty much what that is. And it's disgusting, but it's true.
And the thing is, was it? I mean, Splash Mountain was steep. That was the storytelling of, from the South, and wasn't that stories passed on from slaves throughout history? Is my understanding.
Throughout the Americas, because they're based on African fairy tales, where a lot of them focus a lot of animals that wind up telling stories. So it's like with animals, it's much easier to relate to tell these stories, and their oral traditions. So you'll get these people saying, well, so-and-so didn't get paid for it. They didn't pay them. I said, how can you, no one owns that story. It's all oral traditions. And what made Joel Chandler Harris famous was that he actually transcribed those stories, and they'd never been transcribed before. My grandma told the stories to my dad, and that's just how that oral tradition got started. But
Yes, and then they
This-
erased that out of Splash Mountain because it's what was wrong with it. I mean, it's just
Nothing.
nothing, right? I mean, it's and it's not like they're erasing Snow White from Splash Mountain. They're erasing all those great stories. And I remember my grandfather took me to see Song of the South as like an 8-year-old kid, I guess, when they're replaying it, and I loved it. I guess as an 8-year-old kid, you would never. Yeah, it was probably
80 something.
Yeah, so like as a young kid, you don't read, you don't know what's happening. It's now that movies obviously persona non grata, but God, I love those songs and love those tales. Zippity doo dah. Do they still play that down there? That's been
the way the live action and animation was integrated way back then. Such a good job of that. They do not play Zippity Doo Dah at the parks right now. They don't even allow it to be played. I have requested it from the piano player on Main Street, and he
says no.
Declined.
Yeah, they don't do it unless you are a marching band that comes in and you go ahead and play Zippity Doo Dah, and I freaking love that when that happens. Go and Shogi, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Let me hit you up. Freaking love that. He says, if I was to do a Tiana series, I would have replicated the anime that focused on cooking and food, like Delicious in the Dungeon. Cartoon cooking is popular. Yes, Delicious in the Dungeon, my favorite. Food Wars. That was, they actually had a cookbook that came out the same time that Princess and the Frog did. And I got that cookbook. And it was amazing. You could just buy it like at Walmart or whatever. And the kids loved it because remember what her father said in Princess and the Frog. He said, food brings people together from all walks of life.
Yep. I remember that.
And what a unifying message. But nope, Disney, went for the crap. And speaking of crap, and I gotta thank KMG for this. Then again, thank you again, Joe and Shogi, for that $5 super chat. Speaking of that, in a way, I was kind of wearing this crown because when you see the body language, I'm not gonna play the audio. When you see the body language, do you know what this body language is? Besides the fact that Rachel Zegler stomps around like a dinosaur from Jurassic Park. This is when you see the beauty pageants and they're all on stage and they're smiling, even though in their head they're just like, bitch, I want to cut you. When you go back to the dressing room, I'm gonna whack you in the kneecaps.
Oh my God.
And the person wins and they're like, huh? They're all fake congratulating her. Yeah, that's what this body language is. These two people do not want to be next to each other. Gal isn't trying to make eye contact with Rachel.
Well, it's tough for her because she's so small, I guess, in her defense, but
yeah.
A lot of people may not believe this, but Rachel looks up to Gal because she has no choice.
Yeah.
That's a Wonder Woman there.
I mean, that's absolutely.
When you see presenters come up, they're usually bantering with each other, interacting with each other. They might have kind of like a little bit that they'll do. And it's a dual thing when you have the two presenters, as they usually have that chemistry that they'll do. But
nah, you can cut this with a knife.
It's just like let's get this. Look.
Yeah, but I want to kill you. I hate you.
Step on your shoes.
Ziegler's dress is horrible too. What a horrible dress.
Oh my
her
God.
dress looks like it's falling off of her. I want to go just and grab it and just lift it up. I'm like, come on.
You know what song was playing when they were walking out too, right?
No, what song?
Someday my
When
prince will come.
Yep.
That's the song.
Oh.
The aspect of the story that Rachel Zegler wants to discount completely because the prince was a stalker. Weird. That is
Yeah.
what they played up while they were taking the stage, which I thought was hilarious. Because the first time
That's
I watched
awesome.
this, I'm like, someday my prince, and I like. It's one of those iconic songs that you like automatically start singing in your head when you hear it. And I didn't even think about it, and then I realized, wait a second, that's a song. It's like the most iconic song from Snow White, and yet it's not going to be in the new Snow White because she's not going to be saved by the prince.
Prince is a stalker. I look at
weird.
this. Oh, go ahead, my dear.
They played the Someday My Prince Will Come
Here,
as they're
I'm
walking
gonna
out.
do it for like 9 seconds. Let me see.
Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
There you go. Yep.
Looking at each other. Not looking at each other. Hey, just oh, bitch, I hate you. I hate you too.
I think they got in a fight backstage just before that. Like
See,
feels like that.
They may have, and I'm looking at the way Rachel is walking, and I saw Kiss by Grit say Naomi Campbell would crucify Rachel for that dinosaur walk. Yes. Have you all seen the movie Miss Congeniality?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
William Shatner.
Where she got told, and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the British actor's name, but he said, I haven't seen a walk that bad since dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. I thought that. Looking at, I mean, Gal is very, she's very, very gracious, as she comes out,
elegant. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, she
She's
reminds
stealthy.
me of old Hollywood. Like Gal Gadot looks like I mean, she just like walked out of the 1920s Hollywood, elegant,
beautiful. Yes, thank you, Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
Oh my gosh, she's beautiful.
Classy. Yeah.
She's
and
absolutely
like
cute,
I don't know anybody that's not rooting for the evil queen in this upcoming movie. Go queen, go!
Red
go.
is her
Eat
color.
the apple, eat the apple, eat the apple.
They should switch the roles. Like if I was casting this, I would have flipped the roles around. I would have had Ziegler as the angry queen. I mean, okay, she's cute and all, but not nowhere near. She can't touch Gal. I guess it's Gadot now. Listen to the announcer. It's not Gadot. It's Gadot.
It's actually Gadot. I know this. I know this because I lived in Israel. It's actually Gadot.
Gadot.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But why would you have her? When they're trying to pick the fairest one of all, and you're going to pick Rachel Ziegler, it's it's just
Spielberg wanted her, and
weird.
That's pretty much what it is. Yes, I know. Miss Congeniality. I got to do a watch party for that. I freaking love that movie because Sandra Bullock.
I can't stand her body language and her facial expressions because she just comes off like she's so much better than everybody. It's just,
Which tells me that she is hiding a lot. She is a walking bag of insecurity. She is talented, but like think about how much she came from YouTube to audition for West Side, got the role in West Side. All of a sudden she's plunged into Hollywood, and Spielberg gets her all these other roles. And every single movie that comes out with her in it is a flop. And she is the ultimate, oh my gosh, I have something to prove, and she can't prove it. Why? Because she's designed for the stage. Her talent is designed for the stage, not the screen. And she needs, I would say she needs about 4 to 5 years of serious acting lessons. She needs to be humbled. She probably needs improv classes. There's a lot of things. She's got talent, but it's not been honed properly because she was plucked and put into a position that she clearly mentally and emotionally can't handle. I said this earlier. I don't know where this girl's parents are, but she seems like somebody without any parental direction whatsoever, and she has zero humility. And I think that's because she's completely insecure and she's afraid of what people will really think about her. And therefore, she's projecting and actually making people think about her the very things she doesn't want them to. And
she needs a prince.
It's working.
Yes, she needs a prince to stalk her. You know who she needs to stalk her? Daredevil. She needs Daredevil to stalk her. So let's check out this trailer, which I thought was really, really dope. I'm keeping it minimum, so hopefully,
I have to watch this. So.
Hopefully, I don't get dinged. But it's flipping awesome.
Red, you're angry, aren't you? I can see it on you. It's all over you.
You hate yourself. He's eating you up because you ain't done a damn thing about it.
This is so gritty.
I think you want my permission, Red. You want to get your hands on somebody, you want to hurt them. Maybe you're a little bit scared about what that means. But you're gonna keep eating. And eating. And eating.
Because you know they're breathing the same air you're breathing.
Oh, sure.
Marvel Television's Daredevil, only on Disney Plus.
Wow. So what do you guys think about Daredevil Born Again? Just impressions looking at the trailer. Does the trailer make you want to watch it? Make you not want to watch it?
Well, that might be a loaded question considering all the stuff comic book stuff behind me, but yeah, no, it does a great job, and the big concern we all had was we continue the Netflix series. Are they going to make it dark and gritty? They're not going to go the She-Hulk route. Yeah, awesome. Yep. Hopefully. So it does definitely make you want to watch it. I'm hoping this is really good. And Disney's put out a lot of crapola lately, but hopefully they'll turn the corner and listen to the fans and get their acting. I'm not counting on it, but I'd like to see it, right? Who would ever thought I wouldn't want to see a new Star Wars movie someday? But that's where I'm at right now.
So sad. Yeah, they've ruined Star Wars beyond repair until Kathleen Kennedy is gone and we have a whole new team and they just start from scratch with Star Wars. But the thing about Marvel is Marvel's not just one story. I think that's what helps it out with where Star Wars is one continuation story. So when they let down Luke Skywalker, it was kind of a mess since then. But this Marvel has a chance. You got wins with things like Wolverine, Deadpool, Wolverine. You got losses with things like Captain America, Brave New World. A lot of people are saying good things about Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
It's not based on the comic book Thunderbolts, but yeah.
No, yeah, but
the
people
trailer looks fun.
I've heard people say good things about what they've seen from screeners from pre-screen movies.
Good.
So, but this one is one of those things where they already have an established canon of Daredevil and of the Netflix series. Daredevil and Punisher were by far outshined the other ones, and I love Luke Cage. I love Jessica
Punisher.
Jones. Iron Fist was kind of
went on too long. Iron Fist went on too long.
Iron Fist was like, I don't like that actor. The other one, the girl actor,
Power Man. Yeah,
I liked her. Anyway, so I'm going to watch this with a grain of salt and some skepticism, and hope to God they get this right. Although, like, I'm watching the interaction between Punisher and between Frank Castle and Daredevil, and with that interaction, I've heard that they're going to completely ignore what happened in She-Hulk. But wouldn't it be great if Castle was like, "You did what? Jennifer Walters? Oh, dear God, what the hell's wrong with you?
How many beers did you drink?
Okay, you know what? I'm done with you after that. I'm done with you. I don't care. I don't care that you won't kill. I'm gonna, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go get rid of her for you.
Well, Erica, what are your thoughts on the trailer? Does it like pique your interest to check out the series?
Does it reminds me of like an action movie more than like a show. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, my son's got his new sound system, and I actually brought it up to him. I was like, "Have you heard of Daredevil?" And he's like, "No." And I told him, I was like, "Well, you got your new sound system, and I don't know, maybe that's something me and you could watch together." And so, I mean,
One of
I'm
my-
not going to watch it tonight. It's like 3 a.m. over here, you know.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
but
One of my
he's got
favorite
tomorrow
things-
off, so maybe we'll watch it tomorrow.
One of my favorite things about the episode 1 of the Daredevil series is that you noticed right away that at least on Netflix, they were not afraid to enter into very dangerous territory for Marvel. Like that they did something with the very first episode that you would have never seen in an MCU movie, and that is human trafficking. The first act of heroism that Daredevil ever does, he's not in the suit, he's just in a black outfit, like, ninja trying to stay in the dark. And he attacks some human traffickers and rescues 3 girls after scaring the crap out of them.
Yeah.
But he's like, get out of here, go to the nearest police precinct, whatever. And then he takes out the human traffickers, and they weren't afraid to go there. And that was awesome to me. And then his explanation for why he became the Daredevil, what happened to him that took him from kind of not wanting, like he really wanted to just be a lawyer. Like that was his thing. He's like, he had been trained up. You find out later he'd been trained up. He knew how to do he had all the skills. He didn't want to use any of that. But something happened. There was an event, and I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen Daredevil, the first season, episode 1.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. But the event that happened that made him take action, it's so well written. It totally makes sense. And I don't know how much it matches up with the original, action in the comic books that made, if that's the same type of thing or whatever, but it was so grounded. Like you actually felt, I don't know if anybody else felt this way. I felt in episode 1 of Daredevil, I could see this happening. Like I could see some guy, like in that situation, the one that he was in, with the skills that he had, I could see somebody taking that action. And it was that grounded. It made it feel real. Like there was nothing else in the MCU that was so grounded as that was at that point in time. Everything else was like Thor was a god from a different world, and Iron Man had a technological suit that was way out there. And then you had, Captain America had the super soldier serum. There's the Hulk and all of that. Daredevil was the only thing grounded enough at the time where you could believe, wow, this could maybe something like this happen in real life.
In some ways, he's Marvel's Batman, although totally different. But in terms of the fighting street crime at that level, he's not fighting Thanos, and and he's a handicapped superhero too, right? I mean, there was no we didn't talk about that stuff back then, but he's actually he's blind, which was funny because when they went to put Daredevil on the Hulk show. Stan Lee's like, you don't cover Rex Reed was Daredevil, and they covered up his eyes. He's like, yeah, but then everyone knows he's blind. They don't want he doesn't want people to know he's blind, because that's his, with the super senses. And he's got a hard knock story. His dad is killed for not, giving up, throwing a fight. And, they do have that in the series, which goes with the comics. Of course, the comics are, written in the 60s. So it's, but they did a great job of translating that, and the purity of Matt Murdock's character and doing right when you have to do right, that his dad, wouldn't throw a fight. that translates to his character. Just like Peter Parker learns, with great power comes great responsibility with the death of Uncle Ben, because he didn't stop that burglar. And of course, I did like that new Spider-Man series, but they leave out Uncle Ben from the MCU, and you have to have that component of Spider-Man. You have to, and so that was so well received by all the comic book fans. Everyone loved, especially Daredevil season 1. I mean, all our comic book nerds and geeks, that's always considered the best Netflix show, and the best in season 1. I mean, the other seasons are good, but especially season 1.
And the Kingpin, you're
Vincent
like, holy perfection. The perfection of the way he plays that character. And you know what? I didn't realize that Vincent D'Onofrio is nothing like that. That's what's so wild. Is like he takes on the Kingpin, and I'm not kidding you, I thought that was his voice. I literally thought, wow, they found an actor that really embodies Kingpin with the voice and everything, and the way that he plays him is just freaking genius,
terrifying.
And then you see Vincent D'Onofrio in interviews, and he's like, that is like, wow, that is a good actor. He is nothing like the Kingpin at all. His voice isn't like that. He doesn't look like him. He's like 100 pounds lighter. And I don't think that's all done.
Well, he started off playing Thor. Remember his first role? He was playing Thor, right? I'm joking. Adventures in Babysitting. He was Thor. Yeah,
yeah.
Elizabeth Shue movie. Yep. So yeah, he was Thor in that, but quote unquote Thor. But yeah, it's just you're right. Yeah, it's a wonderful, and that's what makes you've got to have good writing, good acting, and the martial arts choreography is phenomenal. And the advantage they can have another actor, which is smart. It's like Power Fist. Why didn't they have him wear the costume so they could switch out the actor? And I read the actor only had like 3 weeks to get ready for the series, or a month, or something ridiculous. So to train. So I'm looking forward in the Billy Clubs, using the Billy Clubs as a comic book fan. God, I love seeing those, because he didn't really use them as much in the Netflix series. And in She-Hulk, he did use them. It looks like in the trailer he's really using the Billy Clubs a lot. But if you did want to read the original comics, they really did the Frank Miller series Born Again in season 3, and this seems like it's going to be Devil's Reign from Chip Zdarsky, which is and was a couple years ago. I think it was 2002 or 22, or I'm looking it up, but 2023. So I have all those comics. So Wilson Fisk becomes mayor of New York City. So that's even though they're calling this Born Again, it seems like it's more of Born Again in terms of a series.
It's the same thing that they did with Captain America Civil War. It was like Civil War, but in name only.
It wasn't.
Not really
it wasn't
name.
Civil War. Yeah.
But like another thing about the groundedness of the series, when you saw, I mean, he literally almost died. Like literally almost. Like the stakes are high because he gets his butt kicked so much that he is literally next to death. There is a point in the series in which if he wasn't found in a dumpster, almost dead, he like maybe a few hours later he would have been gone. That's it.
Yeah, and that's kind of like just to kind of touch back on that. Granted, I watched The Punisher first. That one I got hooked on. I had to watch that one until it ended. I didn't go back to Daredevil, but I was binging it this weekend and watching it. And in that episode where he gets found in the dumpster, and after he comes to and everything, he's just like, well, why did you get me? Why did you get me out of that dumpster? And he wanted to know, he's like, he wants to know why. Charlie Cox wants to know why. And I think her name was Claire, played by Roxanne. No,
it's a night nurse in the comics. So as a comic book fan, I'm like, yes, they got the night nurse in there. She helps all the superheroes and helps them out.
Exactly. It's Ahsoka, but Rosario Dawson. But I like how she takes the time and says, I'm a nurse in the ER.
Yep.
And they brought these three women in. They're just scared out of their mind, and it's like they wouldn't have survived without a man in a black mask. And then she says, I treat another woman who, you know, she also said she was saved by a man in a black mask. So she's just like, with that, that's why I pulled you out and saved you out of the dumpster. And that's the crux of what's so great about the Marvel comics. And when they do shows like Daredevil, that was on Netflix, even with the superpowers, even with the enhanced senses and all of that, at the crux of that are very human stories with very human emotions that everyday people can relate to. Like with DC, they almost seem like gods. Like my dad was in a DC. I couldn't get into DC comics. But Marvel, I could definitely understand, especially, you know, we got Peter Parker. He's smart. He gets picked on at school, you know. He's broke with this, you know, with this first job, you know, with the
Big glasses.
X-Men. Yeah, with the glasses, you know, with the X-Men, they don't fit in with regular society. And, you know, Professor X has to put together this school for exceptional children. But to take these kids who have these powers and are outcast because they have them, brings them to this school where there's other kids that are like them and mentors who have gone through that. And they learn not only how to assimilate in society, but also how to harness their powers, where their powers aren't I don't say disability, but their powers aren't something to be ostracized. It's something to be used for good, that they can channel and use that for good. And that's something that so many people can relate to. And that's why I like Marvel. And that's why that's so much power in Marvel stories. But to go into what Kiss My Grits was saying, and I pulled this up, didn't Marvel have to rehire the showrunners from the Netflix Daredevil series after the very poor reaction to Kevin Feige's version? Yeah. I found this up on Deadline. Yeah, I heard it was that it
First 6 episodes were a disaster. They had to completely reshoot them.
Yeah.
He did it.
Imagine how much money that costs. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't going to put on the suit till episode 4, I think, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they brought back the original cast is also, I think, really telling. Now apparently they're talking about this as if it were successful already, with a Punisher spinoff already in the works, and possibly going back to the rest of the Netflix stories and revisiting them. Another thing I was going to say is the backstory that they gave the Kingpin in this, Wilson Fisk. It was an amazing backstory. I've never seen that presentation of that before. And you get a backstory that gives you his motivations, but does not excuse him being an evil, bad dude. Right?
Yes.
You can go, okay, so he had these problems. Those problems led to him being an evil, bad dude. But had he made different choices, he could have used everything from his past for good. And he chose not to, because whatever choices, like he decided to have it be all about himself and power, when that's not what he was trying to make it, as if it wasn't about that. Right. Yeah. He was trying to make it as if he wasn't about that, but all that he was doing was on a superficial level, when everything was really about him. Right. And that's what was amazing to me, because this is in the era that they're also trying to make excuses for the other evil villains in Marvel that have come up, like Maleficent and the dog lady, all that stuff. Like, don't excuse. Evil is evil, okay?
Cruella DeVille is always going to be evil. It's in her name, right?
Cruella Devil. She's devil, and Maleficent actually means like a version of
evil,
Satan.
Bad.
So
the other thing, and one of the things that cracked me up is just like, and I love how they shot this. I think the cliffhanger to season 1, that Fisk is such a narcissistic, self-centered SOB that he has the hubris to try to propose to his girlfriend while the FBI on the feds are arresting him. I'm like, are
This
you
is true.
Are you serious right now? Just how they shot it was gorgeous.
That was great.
How they shot it. I'm just like, damn. That's that's just
also one of my favorite scenes is the one where they do not waste time showing you just how bad Kingpin is and the way he deals with the Russian mafia guy that he the guy pissed him off because he interrupted a date. That's all he did. He interrupted a date. He's like, you know what? Let me show you what happens when you interrupt the date of Kingpin. And I'm not going to spoil that for anybody. Yeah. And also, if I say it, we might get demonetized. But man, oh man, that was like,
and
I
his
was like,
voice.
Whoa.
D'Onofrio's voice acting is so well too, because it's a low. He never really goes. Just the tenor of his voice and the tone, and it's just a terrifying where it actually scares the crap out of you, just in a way. But he's not yelling at you. He's not over the top. But you see how everyone respects him, and that's what makes his character so terrifying. And well, the other thing I was reading too, they originally weren't going to have Karen and Foggy in the show. It's like, how could you not have Karen and Foggy in the show? I mean, I'll write the show. I could do a much better job for cheaper. I mean, what are you guys doing? I mean, you've got all these comics. You've got, decades and decades of great, fantastic comics, great stories. I mean, look what they did to Namor. I had to turn that Wakanda Forever. I turned it off. I couldn't. I mean, I'm a huge Namor fan, and
don't get me fantastic on Wakanda Forever.
I had to shut it off. I can't even keep watching this.
Mark, did you watch the Echo series?
I did. It was a total disaster. Yeah,
I was just joking. Like, why the F did they nerf Kingpin like that? Like,
oh, it was horrendous. That doesn't exist in my mind. That
it totally ignore that. It's just.
It's funny because it has the same ending as Captain America: Brave New World, right? It's like, our job is we don't want to engage with you physically. We only win this fight when we talk you down or do some weird mumbo jumbo. I'm like, no, that's
mumbo jumbo, not a comic book ending. Yeah, you beat the crap out of the person and put him in jail.
Who's writing this crap? Who is writing this crap and thinks that kind of an ending is compelling? It's just like,
I think that's probably the worst.
Who don't care about the comic book lore, and I forget which video it was where they were asking these Marvel writers if they were instructed to read the comics, and they're like, no, I didn't read them. No, I was specifically told not to read them. And they were actually proud of that fact, that they didn't read the comics. And it's just like, how can you not get a true understanding of what the character is, the baseline of the character, the immutable characteristics, without going through the comics? And that's why the stuff is just not firing on all cylinders. So Disney has yet to have had a Marvel series stick the landing.
Yeah,
they haven't had that happen, and I'm hoping that it's going to happen with this one. Like this title here says, "Is Daredevil Born Again the MCU's last chance at redemption?"
Yeah, look at Secret Invasion, as our buddy Clobber times we called it Sucky Invasion.
Stop! Oh my God, Samuel!
I didn't finish watching that one either.
I haven't finished it. I have tried to watch that on numerous occasions, and it's just such a snooze fest that I can't follow the story, and I don't get it. And whoever Samuel L. Jackson is playing, it's not
Nick Fury.
It's not Nick Fury. I'm like,
if you've gone back in time to tell me in the 80s that there's going to be a show on Marvel called Secret Invasion, and it's going to be with all these comic book heroes. Well, of course, they didn't have any of the heroes, and like, you're not going to want to watch it. I'd have been like, "What? You're crazy," But yeah, it's just unbelievably stupid how poor the writing and the directing to just botch something where it's all laid out right in front of you. And oh my God, I couldn't finish watching that one either. Yeah,
it was horrible. I'm just like, I'm never going to get my time back for that. It was ridiculous. It was a waste of time. And I was just like, I don't think I ever want to watch another Marvel series again. Well, I had to because I had to review some of it, especially She-Hulk. Yeah, I had to fall on that. I had to fall on that grenade because I didn't watch Batwoman all the way through. So
And look what they did to the Wrecking Crew in that one of the great villains. And then the Wrecking Crew was a joke. So if for comic book fans out there, if you've read it, and it's they're a badass villains who can take on Thor, and they made him into laughing stocks and jokes. So maybe if you had all these really good series and they made that series as like a comedy, and it was a good comedy, like a satire, like making fun of superheroes, maybe it would have been okay. But they haven't done anything good in terms of the MCU on the small screen. I mean, we always made fun of Agents of Shield, but my God, Agents of Shield is his Academy. I did like it, but people would make fun of it and and say, "Oh, it's not that good." But I mean, I enjoyed the series, and it's like they're Academy Award winners compared to this crap.
Compared to this crap, that's happening. So let me show one last thing, and I thought this was very cool. Where you have Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio thank the fans for saving Daredevil 7 years after the original series was canceled. So again, you're going to notice how different Vincent D'Onofrio's voice is and just how much love they have for the fans.
Yeah. From the very beginning of this show, the fans have been with us and let us know it. And they've supported us so much. And when we got pulled from the Netflix show, they were just as devastated as we were. We just didn't get it really. But now that so they campaigned all along for these years to bring us back. They even went as far as to put up their own billboard in Times Square at one point, right?
It's so cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's an amazing fan base to have. I've never experienced anything like it in my career. And so now we're back and they're thrilled and we owe you thanks. Everybody out there that supported us the way they did over the years. You're incredible fans and we appreciate you so much. And we want you to know that you've been in our dialogue through the whole creation of this new season and the second season coming up.
Thank you, guys. You did it. You saved Daredevil. Here we are. We're moments away from the release.
Oh my God, he's British.
The new season. We are.
Wait, you know that?
Yeah, he's British.
No, I didn't know that.
And Kingpin has hair too. Wait a minute, Daredevil's not British, and Kingpin doesn't have hair.
I was just looking at their dynamic, and I noticed that their dynamic, just on an energy level alone, is quite a bit different than Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
These guys like each other, you can tell.
And the funny thing is that they play the same type of roles. You have the villain and the hero right next to each other, and that's the same thing with Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler. But the weird thing is that like both of these guys are heroes in real life, and in real life, Rachel Zegler's actually the villain and Gal Gadot's actually the hero.
Yes, we are getting a season 2, and guess who's going to be in season 2? Matthew Lillard.
Who's he playing? Scooby? No.
Yeah.
Scooby. Wow, Scooby.
Dude from Five Nights at Freddy's. He's gonna be in season 2, and
they didn't say what he's playing though, right?
Yeah, they didn't say what he's playing.
He's playing Shaggy.
Shaggy, yeah. Ruh-roh. I like him. He's good. He's
wow.
good.
It's not really Kingpin. It's actually.
Yeah.
It's Kathleen Kennedy. It's Kathleen Kennedy under there.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, I had to.
Are you meddling kids?
Fans, get out of here.
Put a chicken in bigger kids.
Amen, gay. But one of the reasons why I wanted to show this is just how much love these actors have for the fans, and it's sad to say that this is so rare that they're saying, the reason we're back is because of you guys, keeping your fan, you guys in the mix as they do, these episodes. So it feels good to actually be recognized by the actors of the show, that it's like, you guys are the reason why this show was back, and we've got you guys in mind while while we do this. So
Well,
I
part of it
am.
too is that, well, just real quick, part of it too is Disney's been such a wrong direction. It's a no-brainer, right? If any of us
Yeah.
on this panel, we'd say, "Hey, why don't we bring these guys back as Daredevil?" Why is it such a struggle to come up with such a obvious idea? I mean, you had the most popular Netflix show. Let's bring these characters back. Who cares if they weren't in the MCU back then? You just ignore it. It doesn't matter. It's just so
Yeah.
obvious. I mean,
Just
who's in
do.
charge there? Well, I know who's in charge there, but sorry.
Just do. Well, we gotta run on out because we're all like, okay,
Yeah.
I guess this is gonna be
gotta go watch it.
Daredevil night. So for a couple of weeks, we're gonna be a little short. But before we roll out, I have got to show this. I will probably get claimed for it, but dang it, I'm Sophie.
That's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
That just killed me.
Well, if I know, but I think Zelensky tried to patch things up just before he came on air. I was watching, so I think he apologized finally. But yeah,
yeah, I think he did. Trump's probably like, "What? No, I can't hear you." You know, like the girlfriend, boyfriend F's up. He wants to come back. It's like, really? Yeah, what you gonna do for me? Nah, I'm gonna let you sit out there for a while so you can truly learn what it is that
Zelensky
did wrong. Yeah, he's like, no, I didn't really mean it. No, baby, really, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Let me borrow your car right quick. Hey, Braylon, let's see. You had a comment up here. I just wanted to say I caught up with the show as a Black man. The conversation y'all had on Tiana warmed my heart so much. Respect and reverence and love. Thank you. That made my day. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad it did. I have got like the best panelists and guest panelists on this show. The reason why we call it the Spice Lounge is because we want people to be, honest. Everyone's got a voice. And if you think it's like, well, I can't comment on it because I'm a white guy. My brother-in-law is white and he asks me all kinds of stuff. So so it is not a problem. We're not an echo chamber. We don't throw ideas out. We love to hear from everybody, and we hope you guys appreciate that. We keep it real on this show. All right, we got to roll out. Shows coming up. First of all, no, don't show me toys like that.
Daredevil.
I just 3D printed this.
That's so cool.
Oh, nice.
What?
Yeah, so that came off my 3D printer. So I might sell some of these on eBay. So
I just didn't 3D print this, but I bought it about 40 years ago.
That's an awesome book. Yeah.
Oh,
I bought this when it came out. 87. How much? What is that? 38 years ago?
Don't remind me. That was high school.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I want a 3D printer.
I graduated in 90.
Halloween stuff.
Ooh, that.
Yeah.
I want a 3D print Haunted Mansion stuff.
Oh, it'd be great. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, folks, we are going to roll out. Thank you so much for watching. I will have links to everyone's channel in the description box. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Much love to all of you. Have a great night, and hopefully this show won't stink.
Yeah. If not, I'm gonna have to throw this out. No, I won't do that. Yeah.
Night, everyone.
All right, everyone. Let's tidy things up.
Autobots, start your engines!
Not under the rug.
We'll keep singing without fail. Otherwise, we'd spoil it.
Ready, Prime? Let's roll.
Hosing down the garbage pail and scrubbing up the toilet. Ooh.
That's all, folks.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.